Welcome back everybody to Season 9, Race 5 of Formula Sundays. We are in Brazil and right at the start the lights are out and away we go. Fabian gets a very good start around the outside, but with a short contact with the Williams there, has to run wide, loses a lot of positions. Very tight in midfield here, Doomato squeezing up towards the inside to take that P4, and everyone got away nicely apart from that. As it is a very good race start overall. We will see this clip uncut for the first 2 or 3 laps, because there's so much going on in the midfield here. The two Mercedes fighting, and right behind there's Kurze, who started P12, already up to 11th right now. And towards the end of lap 1 we jump, as we have a little bit of slipstreaming going on down the main straight. Aris is looking down the inside of Yap and Doomato, and Brandon backs up in the mix as well. Aris is going to be coming out as the last of these guys. Yap has reclaimed P4 from Doomato, but now he has 6 cars within half a second or something going towards turn 4, and this is going to be very tight. It is going to be Brandon back in P4 for now. Yap takes this position, or defense position 5 as well. Aris loses 1 to the Mercedes, but cuts back immediately, pushing their teammate off a little bit there, and slight rear end on Yapsinho here, but it doesn't change anything. The positions, no damage for anyone here, as Doomato's cutting past Aris again. Aris has the inside against the Mercedes, and Kurze gets up in the mix from behind there. Has already overtaken one of the Mercedes and is now looking to get past the other on the corner exit. Well, that's just defending the position. Aris running wide there, going down to P12. As the fighting's still not over, DRS is going to get activated as soon as we cross the finish line. And we have a Williams going down the outside of an Aston, and that's Doomato and Yapsinho. As Doomato cuts down with the switchback here, has the inside on the exit now, and stays ahead for now. Lap 3 with Doomato in P5, Yapsinho in P6, but DRS is activated here, so there are a couple of moves being attempted. Fabian Gaming trying to go around the outside of Mike Crack here, and yeah, the Mercedes runs wide. Fabian Gaming through on the inside, now has the outside line for the upcoming turn though, and will have a hard time defending that as the Mercedes goes back ahead. Looking back at the start, Fabian Gaming gets an extraordinary start here. He tries to go around the outside of the Williams, but yeah, the Williams does not have too much space down the inside neither, and does not yield the place. We go on board with Doomato here, seeing that, well, to be fair, I could have probably moved a bit to the inside there, but did not really go off the line. Contact there with Fabian Gaming, and then squeezing Yap through. Really a Verstappen-esque race start here to take that P4 into turn 3. As Yap, we see here, lost his car a little bit and then gets squeezed. Back to Nuve to the start, who gets an extraordinary start there. Has the ability to stick a wheel up the inside here, but decides to back down. Goes very slow into turn 1 and ultimately runs deep into the inside of the corner. Will cut across the grass back to the track, and that will end him up in the last position. Fabian Gaming on lap 3 we are now, and the move on the Mercedes that we've seen before. Mercedes running wide here, and Fabian looks like he can get ahead, but has of course the outside line for the next turn, and there we will see the Mercedes cutting back through and going ahead. We cut towards the end of lap 3, where we have Kurze, Doomato and Yapsinho having a battle here. We've seen it so often between these 3 guys, as we have room up in the mix as well, but he spins out in turn 1. And then we see Doomato losing the car on the inside curb, giving Kurze the opportunity to slide through. And Kurze is now all the way up to P6 from P12, where they started towards the end of lap 4. Kurz having a go at Yap down the inside here. Easy move, no problem, and no further questions asked, as we have Brandenburg and Alfa Romeo in lap 5, just a few meters ahead. Having a little bit of a drag race down the second straight, but I think Brandenburg there moved to the grass and lost their car, and thus we see him here. Yeah, spinning out and dropping all the way down to P8. Let's have another look from Alfa Romeo's perspective here, as we see the McLaren behind, now trying to go for a move on the outside, and then, yeah, just getting on the grass, losing the car, and there he goes. 2 laps deeper into the race, we see the battle for the lead here. Seagull and Mealy having a go at each other, or rather Mealy there coming out of turn 3 with the DRS, and goes down the inside of turn 4. Easy overtake there, no contact, not even close. Seagull there almost losing the car on the exit though, but everything stays as it is as we jump a little bit further down towards the end of lap 7. Newfear trying to go through a gap that didn't exist and will ultimately not get through here, but we will see just a few moments later in the end of lap 8. Newf this time round will go around the outside when Fabian closes the door down the inside, and they are now swapping positions into turn 1. In the end of lap 10 we see Seagull and Mealy again. Seagull trying to reclaim that top spot for now, goes down the inside of turn 1 and is ahead here. We see Mealy slightly losing the car on the third turn, costing him a little bit of extra speed here, and thus he can't quite close the door before the corner. Seagull goes back through the inside and stays ahead for now. In lap 12 we are yet back at the top here through sector 2. We see yellow flags being waved. The Mercedes there is a lap down, so nothing to worry about, as we see the Williams off track there. We will have another look at that a little bit later here. Kurz is going through here as well, now on P4. And yeah, we will have another battle on the main straight here. Mealy will get the DRS, chooses the outside, or rather has no other choice, and goes ahead easily. Let's have a look of what happened with Aris here. Aris in the Williams, spinning out and ending his race. Lap 14 is where we see a little break in the battle for P1 here, as Seagull dives into the pits for the undercut. Goes there first of the top runners, and yeah, we will see him exit here, just right behind Mealy's teammate there, Newf, doing his very best to hold off Seagull here and costing him a little bit of time. Seagull can't go through immediately, and now has sector 2 ahead, where overtaking is rather difficult. Tries to stick a wheel down the inside of this turn, but does not get close enough. Instead, he will look for the better exit here and goes round the outside. Very rare overtaking spot we see here, but now he has the inside for the following turn and makes it through into P3. Really, yeah, hindering him on pushing on that good outlap that he should have had. And we see Mealy coming to the pits and exiting the pits here. And yeah, Mealy is still ahead of Seagull. The undercut did not work out for them. However, they are at least in DRS range again. Lap 19 it is, as we hop on board, or rather on the action, with Mike Crack in the Mercedes and Rido in the Red Bull, approaching on the soft compound here, trying to go through the inside, but could not quite manage to do that just yet. So we see a very poor exit out of turn 3 by Doomato, and Mike Crack and Rito with DRS will have a go down the inside here. The Mercedes goes through immediately. The Red Bull squeezes Doomato off track a little bit. And yeah, in that one corner the Williams lost 2 positions, but the battle is not quite over yet, as Rito, of course, with the soft compound has a significant advantage over Mike Crack on the hards, and he's going around the outside just like Seagull did, and making it stick down the inside here. Gets ahead in that lap, and in lap 21, just 2 laps later, has closed up to Yapsinho as well. And with the DRS down the main straight, Rito's gonna try to make his way past Yapsinho in the Aston Martin. And he gets off at the inside line, takes it, as Yap knows he won't be able to defend for long on the worst compound, and just lets Rito go into P5. We cut back to the top in lap 23. Kurze and Alfa Romeo, the 2 Ferraris, are having a go at it, as Kurze has pitted from mediums to soft. Of course, starting outside of the top 10, had the free choice of tires in the beginning, so soft tires are making quick work of their rivals here, and we see that in lap 25 as well, where he has already closed up to Seagull, and with the DRS and the soft compound, he's going around the outside into turn 1, making a quick work of Seagull as well, and advancing into P2. Nuve, just a bit down the field now in P8, is trying to have a move up on Brandenburg, but there's contact and a spin. Nuve spins out here, and we see Yapsinho going through there. Nuve rejoining the track on the inside, and we'll see in the background Doomato will pass Nuve as well. And on we go to lap 28, where Kurtz has finally closed up the gap to Mealy there, who was running in P1. Kurtz, with absolutely blistering pace on this track, has been going from P12 all the way up to P1 here, and yeah, there is little that his rivals can do now, as he's on the soft compound and running free. We jump back to Rito in lap 32, who has a really good pace on this weekend as well. Is now approaching Brandenburg in the McLaren, choosing the outside line, but has so much overspeed that he goes through without any further problems. And in lap 34 we see him again, this time on Mike Crack here. And yeah, this time around he has the tyre advantage as well, as Mike Crack's still on the hard compound. Goes down the inside, easy move, and up into P5. We cut over to Brandenburg in lap 35, coming into the last lap here. Mike Crack is in between Brandenburg and Rito. Both Mike Crack and Rito have a time penalty. We will see that in a minute. So yeah, for Brandenburg it is quite important to get through here ASAP, and he does so successfully, to stay in touch with Rito, who yeah, needs to open up a 3-second gap, and yeah, it's gonna be very hard over the last lap. We see Mike Crack there trying to block the inside, but not successful in the end. Brandenburg will be ahead of him, but over to Kurtze. Kurtze coming over the line, 7-second lead built up over the last 8 laps. The penalty is going to be irrelevant for him. Seagull is going to cross the line in P2, and we see Mealy dropping big time to Alfa Romeo there. Alfa Romeo over the line in 3rd, and then Rito here in 5th position right now. But he will concede his position to Brandenburg after he crosses the line. And let's have a little look what happened with Mealy, as yeah, it's a problem that a lot of drivers had, me and Yapsinho included. Mealy runs out of fuel, And we see him here going very slow, and that costs him P3. Onto the podium though, we have Ferrari on top, and in P3 Kurze winning once more, blistering pace, followed up by Seagull and then Alfa Romeo in P3 in the Ferrari though. Let's have a quick look at the results overall. Mealy still makes it home for 4th, followed by Brandenburg, Rido, Mike Crack, Yepsinho, Noof and Doomato complete the top 10. And that's been it from us for this week. See you next time.